Good morning. So today we're going to be doing the streak plate method. I don't have my gloves on yet. I will, just to be able to show you things on the computer and to flip my screen around. I have them off for a minute, but normally I would have set up my lab bench. Right now it's my daughter's dresser with aseptic technique, and I would use germicide to wipe everything off. I would come in with goggles, my lab coat, my gloves, make sure everything was covered up. Right now I have the Petri dish. Again, I would have gloves on. And I labeled it as was specified, but I have my initials, I have the date, I have the name of the bacteria, which is Serratia marcescens and Staphylococcus aureus. I did write it out, but I did also put the initials right there as well. And then I have the inoculating loop, and I have the cell spreader. I have it's not letting me turn it around. I have my test tube, if you can see it, in my egg carton. And then I'm going to go to the computer and show you that I have the tools on here. What I'll be using for this is either the Bacto incinerator, the Bunsen burner. That's the germicide I would clean the bench off with. And there's all my gloves, my biohazardous waste, the test tube rack, which is my egg carton right now, the Petri dish, the cell spreader. There's the goggles I would be wearing, and that's it. Let me turn this back around, and I'm going to get my gloves on. So for the streak plate method, so what's in the test tube is my stock culture, and I would take my loop, my oculating loop, and I would sterilize it in the Bunsen burner. So I would let it sit there for a minute in the flame, and then I would let it cool for a minute. So I'm going to take my stock culture and open it carefully, trying not to touch the top. I'm going to hold it like this. Again, we don't want to get anything. We want to use aseptic technique and not touch really the end of this to anything else. Okay, so I'm going to hold that, put the cap back on, and put the test tube back. Carefully trying not to touch anything. So I'm going to open the Petri dish 45 degrees, and I'm going to start at the top here and just streak across 3 times the bacteria. Sorry, I have to kind of hold that in place. So streak that across, just left to right, and then we're going to shut that. And then I would turn it 90 degrees, and with the streak method, you take the bacteria from the previous streak and you streak that across 3 times again. And I'm sorry, I did not say this, but I would incinerate the loop in the Bunsen burner. So excuse my mistake. I would do that so that it to clean it off for aseptic technique, and then I would do that. So again, I would take the streak, kind of going backwards for a minute, and I would take a little bit from the previous streak and then pull it across and downward using the 45-degree method, and then I would shut that again. I would incinerate the loop again. I'm going to turn it again 45 degrees and streak again. Take the loop and pull from the previous streak into the next area and pull downwards 3 times left to right. Here, I'll pull that back a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to shut that. I'm going to incinerate the loop again to clean that off. And again, use the 45-degree angle and pull from the previous streak and then pull across and downward again and shut that. And then I would incinerate the loop. Put that down, and after that I would make sure to put this in a cooler. That's set to 37 degrees Celsius, and or not a cooler, I'm sorry, an incubator. I'm used to work right now where we have coolers. I would invert it and let it sit for 48 hours. And then we would come back and take a look at it and see the colonies that we have. The point is to try to get a pure culture from this and dilute it each time that we're streaking it across. So that is it for that. I would clean this. Again, I would clean my whole area, and I would leave any pencils or pens in this area in the lab and not take it out with me. So that is it for the streak plate method.